We'll discuss a few renewable energy resources. First, with nuclear power. Nuclear power is generated via nuclear fission in nuclear reactors. Nuclear fission generates heat to produce steam that turns turbines. To create nuclear fission, we must first mine uranium, then refine it, and then enrich it, adding more uranium atoms to a stock. This process is hazardous because meltdowns occur due to reactions getting out of control, and nuclear waste disposal is problematic because waste remains hazardous for very long periods of time, namely longer than human timescales. Other renewable energies are geothermal, hydroelectric, wind, and solar energy, which will be discussed in detail. Geothermal power plants use groundwater heated by igneous activity. Very hot groundwater turns to steam when it reaches the surface and undergoes decompression. Geothermal energy is usable in areas where igneous activity occurs, or namely in areas that are close to tectonic plate boundaries. Hydroelectric power occurs when flowing water passes through turbines, and this is done through dams or tidal barrages that are used to harness the water flow. Wind can be used to turn fan blades and turn a turbine to generate electricity. Solar energy relies on photovoltaic cells that transform the energy of light, or photons, into electricity. Next, we'll talk about rock and mineral resources, which include metal resources. Metal is an opaque, shiny material that can conduct electricity. And native metals exist in nature by themselves, for example, gold. Ores are groups of minerals and elements that can be smelted to yield metals from the compounds within the ore. In other words, ores have enough concentration of a valuable element that they are mined. There are many different types of ores around the world. Some examples include galena, which is a lead sulfide or a lead ore, and malachite, which is a copper ore and is technically known as copper carbonate. Other ores exist for iron, molybdenum, platinum, and other important elements for different industries. Ore deposits form in a number of different circumstances. These include magmatic deposits, hydrothermal deposits, seafloor massive sulfide deposits, secondary enrichment, sedimentary deposits, placer deposits, and residual deposits. Magmatic ores form in magma chambers where the ore minerals crystallize from a magma or a melt. Hydrothermal ores form when water circulating around and through magma chambers dissolves metals and transports them, finally precipitates them out of the solution elsewhere. Seafloor massive sulfide deposits form when sulfides precipitate around hydrothermal vents, which are also known as black smokers, along mid-ocean ridges. Sedimentary ore deposits form when ore minerals settle or precipitate out of water. One example of this is banded iron formation. Placer ore deposits form when erosion produces clasts of native metals that are transported or deposited in stream beds. They are often sorted by flowing water, which concentrates the metals. Residual deposits occur when soluble minerals are dissolved and carried away, which results in a mineral left behind that is more concentrated in insoluble materials. One example is bauxite, from which aluminum is extracted. Many ore deposits are extracted via open pit mining that lies fairly close to the ground surface. There are steps cut into these walls that help ensure its stability. Ore deposits are also mined underground when they are buried more deeply, and shafts and tunnels are dug to access them. There are also non-metallic mineral resources. And in fact, many of the materials that we use aren't metals, but are still from geological sources. For example, concrete, glass, drywall, and brick, dimension stone, and crushed stone and concrete. Dimension stone refers to the building material and includes granite, marble, and limestone. This is also just known as stone. Crushed stone and cement is used as road base and in manufacturing concrete, cement, drywall, and asphalt. For today's in-class activity, I'd like you to watch these two different videos on YouTube that relate to mining in Florida and mining at a global scale, and answer some questions on them. This concludes the lecture.